Hey, everybody, it's Amanda Ray, the Senior Product Manager here at GitLab. Nick, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Nick Brandt, the product designer on the product planning team.
Today, we want to walk through the scheduled features and bugs that we have for our upcoming milestone, and we want to talk through the ideal functionality as well as the designs that accompany those to enable you all to ask any questions in our upcoming milestone review. So Nick, you want to take it over?
Sure. All right, so let's bring up the board, which is split out between feature, bug, maintenance, and design. And the first one we have here under feature is change work item type within the UI. So for this one, let me open up the design real quick. So from within the actions menu within a work item type, we will now have a new menu item called change type. And when a user selects that option, they'll be presented, the disclosure will essentially update to a new list of items based off of like the types that are available. And then they can select a new type. And after that, they'll be presented with a modal to confirm this change. Since we'll be deleting data when we change from one type to another, we need to have a confirmation that will explain what data will be lost when changing types, as well as a confirmation, or we'll actually type in their the path to this item and then change the type. So that is the flow. Is there any questions?
Sorry, two callouts. Yeah, sorry about that, Nick. Two callouts. One, we already have change type implemented as a quick action. And so we really want to utilize that backend, and we don't want to make any changes to the logic that's already been created. So to Nick's point, there's already been identified what options are available per record type. So go ahead and just use those. And then finally, I want to clarify, while we are deleting data, we are also writing that data to the system notes for future use. So folks who are using that event history can see what data was deleted as reference.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right, and the next item on here is add the ability to create a new work item from existing work item. So for this one, let's see here, other side. So from that same actions menu on a work item, we also need to support creating a related item like you can on issues today. This is also now going to be extended to other work items such as epics. So this will be more of a generic type that we'll use in here instead of new related issue or new related epic. It'll say new related item. And so when you select that, we will open up the new create modal that we are utilizing, and we'll default this to the current type that the user is on, with the ability to change that if they would like. In addition to this, we are doing something similar to on the legacy version where we add a checkbox showing the relation that you are now creating. And so this will be pre-checked, indicating that relationship, but a user could uncheck this and it would essentially just detach that relationship, but they can still create the item. It'll just go in the same namespace that they're within. And then at the end, we do show a toast message showing that the issue or the item was created. Is there any questions or follow-ups that you want on that one, Amanda?
Yeah, I just point out that we do not have a quick action for new related item. So this will be one where we have to create that backend that could potentially serve as the quick action, as well as this, though the quick action is not a deliverable of this issue.
All right. This next one is work items allow changing parent while reordering children in the hierarchy widget. So I believe we have an MR actually already started by Flory to complete this. And so essentially it's just being able to rearrange items, reorder them, drag and drop within the hierarchy widget, and also change a parent. So if you were to move something from within one epic to within a different epic, we could actually change those parents. This isn't currently working. I think there's like a backend dependency. Yeah, it's this one right here. That's being worked on. So yeah, do you have any other context on this one, Amanda?
Yeah, no, I think the problem is well understood. I think it's just going to be a matter of, will we leave the front end in 17.4 while the back end is still being worked? So if you see that the front end's been moved out, it's because of compatibility issues, and the back end hasn't shipped.
Yep. All right. This one is move the show labels toggle into the more kebab menus. This is one that Jean's actually working on right now, and it's in review. So I expect it's probably going to be delivered early on in 17.4, but this is essentially just moving our current labels toggle. That's when the child and linked widget to be within this kebab menu that we have here, which we already show on epics, but now we're going to show that essentially on all work items where we have this show labels toggle. And that'll allow for us to expand some of the different options to also live within here, such as like we're potentially going to be having the ability to toggle on and off closed items. Here, there's an MR currently in the works, as well as we've considered the ability to expand and collapse all items that have children essentially within this widget. So this menu allows us to kind of utilize that area instead of having so many exposed options.
Yeah, I would just add that we just recently got feedback that the views are still too noisy. So these kinds of improvements allows users to hone what they're looking at, so they can zero in on the information that's important to them. So if they don't want to see closed information, or the labels or what have you, they can do that, but it's not taking up or making noise in their view, moving it to that actions menu. So I'm really excited about this change.
Yep. All right, this one, this isn't specific to UX, but this just looks like it's instrumenting the view on roadmap link within the hierarchy widget. So as I was just showing that kebab menu that we have on epics, where we have a link that essentially goes off to the roadmap page filtered by the current epic. This looks like it's probably going to be adding some instrumentation, so we see how often that's actually utilized by users. Is that kind of the gist that you understand from this, Amanda?
That's it. Yep. And we already have the roadmap view instrumented, both as the view plane and as people are filtering. So this just kind of gives us a comprehensive view of how are people getting to the roadmap.
Gotcha. All right, the next one is updating the UX of the contextual view drawer. This one's specific to the drawer design and content. So we already had a design issue, which is this one, which was essentially like a comprehensive redesign of this drawer contextual view, which had a lot of different details that we've now broken up into a few different issues. And so, as I mentioned, this one is specific to the drawer design and content. So it's things like the header position and having like a sticky header, changing some of the padding and such. But this is one that we are targeting for 17.4. There's a lot of different tasks, like I said, within here. But I think the goal is to have all of these tasks completed for this milestone, if possible. Is that correct, Amanda?
Yeah, that's right. And I will mention that from a process perspective, this is the first time that I use child items or child tasks in an issue. So I'd love feedback if you like that idea. Would you have preferred just a checklist? Would you have preferred these to be an epic with sub issues?
And I'll just give a refresher just for those, just to, in case you were confused what I was talking about. This is the contextual view drawer that we were talking about. And like I said, it has just like a lot of different design updates, such as like this header at the top, and then making it so this header sticks when you scroll, and some of the other design changes specific to the drawer compared to the current POC.
Nick, for folks that aren't familiar with this project, can you talk just really high level about what our plan is for rolling this out? Where is it going to be? What's our plan for rolling it out? Where does it go first?
For the drawer, so yeah, we do have a rollout section here for the drawer. And so we've kind of broken this down into some different iterations. So we already have a contextual view on the issues page today when you open like a task. So that opens in a modal today. And so instead of having multiple different types of contextual views, like a drawer in one case and then a modal in another, the idea is that we're going to be replacing that with the drawer. And so one of the first things we want to do is update that task modal that's currently in the product to use this new drawer. And so that'll be one of the first instances that we'll update. The other area that we're looking to do is let's see, there's the drawer for the OKRs hierarchy widget.
Yeah, this is in OKR. So like if you're going to open a sub objective or a KR from a parent objective, it opens today in a full page.
Yes, and yeah, the reason we're okay moving forward with that one initially is that those are all work items, and so we can always utilize that drawer for any child items. There's other kind of iterations here within this number one as it relates to the detail page for the hierarchy widget. We can't introduce this on, like I said, let's say epics on the detail page for like the hierarchy widget until issues are migrated. And the reason is because we can only use this contextual view for work items. And so issues which aren't currently migrated, they wouldn't be able to, we technically could open them in a contextual view, but the data is a bit different than what we have available in legacy, and we don't want to introduce that confusion. So there's some kind of requirements before we can start updating some areas. And so that's why these specific tasks are essentially blocked until we have epics plus issue migration. Otherwise, we can continue to move on some other areas. So we can update the current boards drawer to utilize this contextual view. We can update it on the epics boards once we have epics migration. So we can start using that immediately once we do epics migration, which will be soon. We wouldn't be able to update the issues drawer on the issues boards until issues were migrated for the same reason I just mentioned for the hierarchy widget. Outside of that, the third area that we're looking to update is then list pages. And we actually already do use this on OKRs today from the list page. So we would just be updating that to reflect the changes that we're working on now. And then similar to what I've mentioned before, these require migration for like the epics list versus the issues list. Since epics are migrating first, that would be the one we would update first, and then we could do issues soon after. I think there's probably a case where we don't get a lot of this done until after issues are migrated, where we end up updating both lists at the same time. And I think it's going to all depend on kind of like that timing of where we get with issue migration, how long that actually takes, whether we decide it's worth doing it for like the epics list before we do it for the issues list. But I think, yeah, that's kind of my thought, is it'll kind of depend on timing. How do you feel about that, Amanda?
Yeah, in my mind, the priority is detail pages. So I think even by the time we're done with all the UX updates, then the detail pages, we're going to be really close to issues migration. So having a unified experience on boards and list pages makes sense to me. If we're talking months in between, then we might make a different decision.
Yeah. Then like the last priority here would be adding it to roadmaps, which I don't think we actually have designs for quite yet. I think we have a separate issue for that, but that would be the last area we'd be adding it to.
Yeah, that's right. And so this is the plan to introduce the drawer everywhere. The work that's in the current milestone, the upcoming milestone, is to update the UX on this common drawer object, for lack of a proper word. And that same object would be used to apply in all those different places. So we're not creating it in all those different places new, we're creating this common. And in fact, I think Natalia's already created that common object, isn't it right, Nick?
Yes, I believe so. It's something that we can reuse in different areas. And before we start to we don't want to update the current modal view that's on issues where you see tasks today, because that one isn't quite yet at the design that we want. So, which is why these design issues are coming first, is we want to get the design to a point where we're happy, and then we'll start kind of introducing this new drawer view into all the areas. But we have a little bit of work ahead of us before we can do that.
a lot of user happiness around this project. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from the prototype that you created. People are very excited about this. It's going to reduce tab sprawl enormously.
Yeah, it's something in the solution validation. We did get a lot of positive feedback in relation to this feature, where a lot of users mentioned they could definitely see themselves using this rather than always opening new tabs like they do today. And we know that this is a common problem for users. But so this is
Like,
the prototype. It's lagging a little bit, but essentially you kind of see how like sticky header versus we don't have that today. We have some new functionality for like copying the item URL. This is just changing the look of opening in the full page. And then we have some other kind of smaller design changes as well.
yeah, I was just going to mention that we're running into that problem right now. We're on the board and we're opening tab and tab and tab. And the
Yep.
drawer would really make it nice if we had it.
Yep. Exactly. All right. So next one here is update Epic's documentation following the Epic to work out a migration. So this one's mainly just like a documentation issue. Do we need to cover this one?
No, I think that that's just covering all the gaps of new features that we haven't written to documentation. So that's a collect all.
Gotcha. All right. So this one is the front end work for disabling the add button when user tries to add more than 10 items to the hierarchy widget at once. So we already have this for link items like shown here. So when you add more than 10 items, we display an error message as well as we disable the add button. We're going to be doing the same thing for the hierarchy widget. When you go to add multiple existing items, today there's really no limit. We're not limiting that at all on both front end and back end, but this is the front end issue to essentially prevent that and to limit it at 10. We also have a backend issue here to limit it on the back end. From what I understand, we can move forward with the front end issue even before this backend is complete. At least I saw that somewhere, like Kushal mentioned it, but yeah, is there any other context you have on this one, Amanda?
No, that sounds right to me.
And yeah, like I said, this is just the backend issue for the same thing. So I can skip over that one. All right. POC design management image scaler. So this is related to the design management overlay. We have, let's see if I can open this MR real quick. So Rajan's already started work on this. It's in a pretty good spot, but there's some additional updates we want to make to it. Essentially, it's just changing some of the functionality related to things like zooming or like how we show the initial zoom level. Sorry, I should have. When I go full screen, are you able to see it in full screen?
I don't know. Did you click it? I
Yeah,
can see. I can, I think.
Okay.
That's a big image.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see here. Trying to see if there's a good example that Rashawn has here. I won't go through all of this. I'm trying to see if there's even a list that we have of the remaining items. I know it was in our review. Essentially, it's related to some of the more automated scaling that we're doing of the image. It was things that maybe aren't necessarily required for GA of the design management for issues when we release that. But it's currently something that Rajan has already started. But I guess this is something we should discuss, I mean, at some point. It's like we currently do have this as work items GA issues, whereas this, I don't know, is actually needed for GA. Could be something that we push depending on priorities.
Is it a little bit more like maintenance or like just
It
feature
was,
enhancement?
yeah, it's more like feature enhancements because it's
Okay.
things that aren't currently available even today on like the legacy design management
Okay.
overlay. So I think we might want to consider actually moving this one out, depending on the level of effort. Because I know Rajan said that it was getting a bit into the weeds with some of the details.
Okay. Yeah, Kushal just brought this one in today. So Kushal, let's chat about this, whether we really need to schedule it now, since it's still a bit of heavy lifting.
I think this one is a backend issue. Yeah, it's backend. This is to expose the current depth level and total supported depth in the hierarchy widget. And I think this one is just to help supporting issues such as this, where we want to look at disabling options based off of the level you're at. So in this example, you are at the maximum depth already with of essentially levels of epics that you can have, but yet we show the ability to create a new or existing epic, and this would essentially just error out. But instead of doing that, we would prefer to show, like in the disabled state, that you cannot create those. We could hide them, but then there's really no indication to the user as to why those are hidden. So we're proposing that we actually like disable those and provide some sort of a tooltip explaining that they're at the maximum depth. But this backend issue would essentially support the ability to be able to do something like that, because today we cannot do it at this point. All right. The next one on here, I mean, I know you had mentioned that this one might not actually make it into 17.4. Do we still want to cover this?
Yeah, let's skip this one because it was not originally planned.
Okay. And the last one here within feature is roadmap dynamically display milestones based on filter criteria. And so this one is if you have a filtered list of the roadmap, such as this example, we're currently showing, I think, all milestones within this current namespace. Is that correct? And this should actually be filtered based off of milestones that are applied to the filtered data set. Is that what we're looking to have, Amanda?
Yeah, actually, I thought that it was, yeah, no, that's right. I should only see the milestones which are assigned to issues where the children are assigned to those milestones. For example, if I do not have any issues assigned to this group for sprint 7 or sprint 8, I shouldn't see sprint 7 or sprint 8.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know we've had some customer feedback around that one, which is why we're prioritizing it.
Yeah, this has been a big pain point for one of our large financial customers, and something that we've been trying to resolve for a few milestones now. So I'd love to see this one as a deliverable.
Yeah. And as shown on the board, like this one is currently blocked by, I assume it's some backend work. Yeah, some backend work to be able to allow this. So we would need to do that first before we could start on that issue.
Yeah, what I'll probably end up doing is just moving the one that you first displayed to 17.5 and then the 17.3 backend issue to 17.4. So it's the same problem, just rather than front end starting in 17.4, it looks like backend will.
Gotcha. All right, and that's the list of the type feature. Now we can go over the type bug. We just got 3 of them in here. So I think Amanda's going to go over these, but I'll go ahead and open up. This first one is send the correct value in subscription when a new parent is assigned after clearing the old value on work items.
Yeah, so there's actually a really nice video attached to this one to reproduce it. But basically in the new work item parent, when you use the clear tool to clear the value and then come back to add a new parent, the hierarchy widget doesn't redisplay. So take a look at that video. Like I said, it's a really nice reproduction of what's happening with some additional information there. It looks like Eugenia's already picked this up to start looking at it, but I don't see a workflow label, so I'm not sure if we've investigated yet. So let me know if there's any questions about this. The next one is, yep, when we're on boards and folks are using the filter by milestone equals upcoming, and it's a rather popular filter type, you're not getting any results. And I know that this is open for a little while, and I think there's some discussion about, well, what does upcoming mean? And there might be some complication, but this is a really well reported problem that we want to take a look at. And then lastly, this is where you're on an issues list. You filter your issues list by a particular epic, and your result set on your listing page does not match the same result set as when you export those filtered results. So something in the mismatch of the CSV versus the listing page.
All right, and then we're not going to cover the maintenance issues. Is that correct, Amanda?
Yeah, that's right, because starting this milestone moving forward, the maintenance work that we're going to be pulling into the milestone is going to be dictated by Kushal and the team. Anything that's been pre-assigned, like the stuff that you see on this board right here, will be up for you all to decide if that's going to stay or if you're going to bring in different priority items. So we're going to skip that.
All right, and then the last items here are in the design column, so I can go over those. So this first one is a continuation of something we've been working on for the past couple milestones, actually. So it's the single agile planning listing page. And what we're really looking at is a lot of things within this issue. We're kind of exploring some various things such as combining the epics and issues lists into one consolidated listing. Additionally, we're looking at consolidating our different view pages. So we have an issue list page today, and we have an issue board page. And it would be great to be able to have those in one page where you can essentially toggle the view mode. So those are a couple of the changes. Some other things that we're looking at is including like a nested view. So when you have, like epics with different nesting, being able to see those on a listing page versus having them all as like flat items. And then the last thing, which as I've dug into this one, we may end up splitting it into like a separate effort, just because it does involve a good amount of kind of further exploration, is looking at doing a grid versus our current listing page. And so this is pretty common in a lot of other planning products, is using a grid view. I think a lot of PMs are used to using things like spreadsheets, and so grids kind of resonate. And so this is a path that we're looking at going down for either potentially replacing the listing page or offering a grid view in addition to the listing page in the future. But yeah, there's some other things that we're also looking at with this this effort, such as changing our current filtering pattern. Today we use the filter bar, such as seen here, where you do all the filtering from like this bar, and then after a while it gets quite difficult to manage, as well as kind of see what all is applied. And we're looking at changing that to kind of more of a filter builder pattern that's been explored within Pajamas in the past. So yeah, a lot kind of involved in this one, which is why it's going on for a bit. But yeah, it'll be continued here this next milestone, and then hopefully we'll be doing some solution validation here later on in the milestone related to this one.
And this work, I should mention, will be scheduled probably starting some of the smaller iterations that we can pull out in Q3, peppered into Q4, and then really heavy in Q1. So you'll start to see, because it's such a big vision that's being created, we'll create smaller iterations building the story to better visualizations and navigation.
All right, and then the last one here. So this is essentially an item that's required for issue parity, which is why we've prioritized this one. So today we offer a way to add Zoom links within an issue by using the /zoom command. And on an issue, that'll add, I'm trying to think if there's an actual image of this somewhere.
You could probably just add it to a comment and do a live demo.
All right, let's do it. Then I need a link though.
YOLO. Oh yeah.
Let me get a link.
My bad. Do a link to what we're on right now.
Where is the link? Copy invite.
Oh, they moved the link thing. I didn't mean
There
to
it
throw it
is.
off. You got it?
Yep. So as you see here, this little button was added now that I added that within the shortcut on issue. And this would essentially just link off to the Zoom meeting that we have right now. We actually offer very similar functionality, but different on incidents. It's incidents, I believe. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right, on incidents.
Okay. The difference being it actually adds it to a separate widget that we call, I think, related resources, linked resources. So it adds like a line item similar to like our linked items, but it's specific for like a Zoom video, and it has like a little Zoom icon. So we're wanting to consolidate those into one feature, essentially, not having multiple different ways to do these things when we're doing the migration to work items. And so we're actually getting rid of this option where we're adding a button. And we're not moving towards the current incidents version where we have a separate widget for linked resources, but instead we're going to be offering figure it'd be better if I actually link to or show the actual image here. So this is an example that Nick Leonard put together. So this shows adding it to our current linked items widget. So since linked resources are essentially just another type of linked item, it makes a lot of sense to just add them as a separate bucket or grouping within the linked items section. So this shows like a Zoom video that was added as a list item here. And then this shows like the add flow of, you go to add. We now have, in addition to the current options, we have a has resource. I think we're still determining what we want to call this items. I think we're potentially changing the terminology on this one, but essentially it'll just be an option here to provide text and a link that would go in the resources section. So it doesn't have to be a Zoom link. It could be something else, some sort of document link. But the idea is these would all go within a resources section within the linked items widget. And so that's something that I'm going to be working on finishing up the design for. Like I said, Nick kind of did a good start here, but I just need to flesh out a few more details as relates to this effort. And
Yeah, I think that one we could expect to probably have assigned for engineering to get started in this quarter or very early Q4.
Yeah, so I was under the impression that we wanted to have this one done for issues GA, which we do have it currently GA issues. So
yes,
that's why we're prioritizing this one now for designs. We want to actually start development of this one relatively soon so we can include it with GA issues.
Yes, exactly.
All right, and then that was the last item.
Well, that's it.
Else?
No, I don't think so. Thank you so much, Nick. This was really, really helpful for me. Hopefully it'll be helpful for the team, and we would love your feedback on how we can improve this for the next milestone.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
All right. Bye.